Okay, so in your notebooks right now, you should have the title of the notes as writing expressions. Make sure you put today's date. And this is the table that we generated together in class. So we talked about some keywords that mean certain things for different operations. So when you're looking for something that refers to addition, these are the words that will tell you that you're doing an addition problem. For subtraction, these are the words that tell you that you have a subtraction problem. For multiplication, we have these words. And then for division, we have these words. Notice we put little stars or asterisks next to these two terms. The reason for that is that those two phrases so put a little key down here to represent what those words mean. So the phrase less than, or I should say the phrases less than and subtracted from indicate that you need to reverse the order of the terms. So when you see those two words, you actually write them in reverse for subtraction. Everything else, though, the way it's written is the way you're probably going to write it. So let's look at some examples. First, we're going to take a look at, I'll give you an expression in words, and you have to translate it using letters and variables. And then we'll go the other way as well. We'll give you letters and variables, and you have to express it in words. So let's look at some examples. And I'm just going to make a little table. Here is the expression in words, and then as an expression. So the first one we'll do is 5 more than a number. So when I see that word, I'm looking for those keywords that tell me certain operations. So in this case, it's the words more than. And if you look over at my chart on my next page in my notes, the previous page, 5 more than referred to addition. So the expression for this is 5 plus some number, and then normally when you use a variable for a number, we use the letter x. So in words, 5 more than a number is 5 plus x. Let's try another example. If I said twice a number, the key word there is twice. So twice means you multiply. So in this case, I'm doing 2 times some number x. So 2x. Three subtracted from a number. So the keywords there are subtracted from. And remember, subtracted from is the one where we reverse the order. So anytime you see the word subtracted from or less than, you reverse the order. So 3 subtracted from a number means I take that number minus 3. So another way of writing this could have been a number minus 3. or in this case, number 2, you could set a number times 2, or 5 plus a number. So there are multiple ways to write these problems. Let's look at 2 more examples. If I said earning $5 per hour, the keyword there is per. And when you see the word per, you should think multiply. So it's $5 times something. So $5 times an hour. So we'll just use $5 times x for the represent the hours, so 5x. Okay, and the last one, the quotient of a number and 2. So the key word there is quotient. When you see the word quotient, that should be thinking division. So we would write, using the fraction sign, x divided by 2. So the goal is that when you're looking at these words, you should be able to translate them into the appropriate expression to be able to do the appropriate operations. And we should also be able to go backwards. So for example, this time using our same chart, I'm going to start with the expression and we're going to write down the words that it represents. So let's say I gave you this expression, n minus 9. There's a lot of different ways you could represent this in words. You could write down what I just said, n minus 9. Or you could use another one of the words from the subtraction list. How about we use the word difference? We'll say the difference of a number and 9. That would give you n minus 9. How about I gave you negative 4x. This would be number 7. So how can I translate that into words? So the operation here is multiplying. So I'm going to look at my multiplication list. One of the words I can use is product. So I'll say the product of a number, or the product of negative 4 and a number. Let's do a couple more examples. Let's say I gave you Q divided by 8. So that's the letter Q there. So I'll look at my division list, and I can just say a number divided by 8. Let's look at a little bit harder of a problem. Let's say I gave you 2 operations. So I said 2y plus 10. So here we have multiplication and addition. So I have to represent the 2 operations that are going on in this problem. So I'm going to look at my addition and my multiplication. So I want to present the addition and I want to represent the multiplication. So I can say the sum, which deals with the addition, the sum of 2 times a number, I'm going to write this on 2 lines for this one, 2 times a number and 10. So I'm taking the sum of 2 times a number and the number 10. So that's writing it in word form. And then one last example. Let's try another harder one. Let's say I gave you x squared minus 5. So again, I have two operations going on here. I have an exponent of 2, and I'm subtracting. So I have to represent both of those. Exponents, remember when we refer to this, you can say it two different ways. You say to the second power or squared. The 2 means squared. So here I could write, since I'm dealing with subtraction, a number squared minus 5. I'm going to write this on two different lines again. These are just some possible answers for us to interpret. You could write these in other ways as well, using different terms, and still mean the same thing. So we should be comfortable though now writing expressions and identifying those keywords for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division.